So now I want to mention one more camera. Now that I'm talking about just general virtual tour cameras, I want to mention one that's a bit left of field that you may not have heard of, but it has potentially one of the most groundbreaking features of every 360 camera. And that is the X-Phase Pro X3. I'm holding it in front of me here. This camera has, I think it's around 20 lenses. So all around, as you can see, there's so many lenses. It's got 2 on the top and it's even got some on the bottom. It's got 2 here underneath the handle, and it's got a big inbuilt handle here. But why this camera is amazing is it shoots 124 megapixel 360 photos. 124. For context, the Theta Z1 shoots 23 megapixel. The Insta360 1-inch shoots 21 megapixel. The Trisio shoots 32 megapixel. This shoots it's 134 megapixels, which is a lot. So this is a massive megapixel count on this camera, and it's almost unbelievable. But the reason that it does it is because it's got so many lenses. So all of these lenses, I think it would capture probably around like 8 megapixels per lens. But because it's got so many and it's covering the full 360-degree field of view, it's able to shoot 134 megapixel 360 photos. And that's truly incredible, which may make you think that, like, why am I even mentioning any of the other cameras when you could have just said this all along? Well, the reason is this camera isn't perfect. It's from a company called X-Phase. So it's a lesser known company that don't update this camera very much. The workflow involved with capturing 360 photos with the X-Phase, it's not super easy. The desktop and mobile apps are severely underdeveloped, and the workflows are going to take time to even produce one photo. Not that long. Once you get the hang of it, you can be shooting photos in, say, a minute or 2, and then you can download them to your phone, and then I just airdrop to my Mac from there. But the main downside is that they do require some editing, and the HDR, the inbuilt HDR, because HDR is a feature that all virtual tour cameras need. It's integral to being able to see outside and minimize overblown highlights. With the X-Phase, I found it doesn't handle it as well as other cameras. So you're more prone to getting blown out highlights with the X-Phase, and it outputs some unusual file types, but it doesn't output a RAW file. It outputs a JPEG, and there's only a certain amount of editing you can do on a JPEG file. So that's why the X-Phase really does have a lot of potential, but it requires a lot of learning and practicing and understanding the kinks in it to get those really high quality photos, because when done right, these photos can be industry leading, like much better than any other 360 camera out there. However, in any high contrast situations, and we've all been in these situations where we're shooting at sunrise, sunset, we have the sun coming in really brightly through just one window only in a room, and it's blowing everything out. This is where a camera like the Theta X is going to do a fantastic job, and the X-Phase is going to fail miserably. So you need to have a think about your use case. Like, am I shooting a lot of high contrast scenes? If I am, maybe I want to go with something that has better inbuilt HDR, because you'd have to do literally no editing with the Theta X and you've got great dynamic range. Whereas with the X-Phase, while you will have more quality and way more megapixels, you're going to have to do a lot more editing. So if you're very comfortable with editing, then you'd want to consider the X-Phase. But if not, yeah.